Crystal Howell is here to help you manage those pennies. Of course, she is our internal auditor, not CBC's, but our Morning Barbados' internal auditor to help you manage those hard-earned dollars. Good morning. Good to see you again.
Good morning, Shane.
Yes, good morning. So this morning we were talking about tech.
Yes. And more specifically, because as we've been going through for the past several sessions, we've been talking about the ways that persons can incorporate different aspects into their business plans so that when they develop their ventures, they're going with the best foot forward. So we're looking now at the tech that you'll be using if you did develop your own side business or small venture. What technology will you use to help make sure that this is successful?
So when you think about technology, technology is always great when it's in terms of fast tracking things, streamlining operations, and making things just generally run better, more efficient. That's what we've been seeing as we here in Barbados build out an e-commerce sector.
Correct.
So talk about the savings that you can accrue when you introduce the right type of technology.
No, it's always a great idea to have this up front, but I know there are many persons who would have started off with a manual system or a semi-automatic system, and they're now trying to see how they can get to the next phase to help with efficiencies within their different areas.
All right, before you go on, give an example of a manual system and then compare it to the automatic system and the benefits there.
Putting your bills in a shoebox, maybe.
Correct.
All your receipts.
So that is exactly it. So speaking from a personal side view, most persons actually do that, where they would have a textbook or one of those cashier books, and they will log everything, and then you have to manually sit down with a calculator and add everything up. And it's difficult, obviously, because it's going to take some time to do all of that, and then you don't get the opportunity to manipulate the information in a way that it actually gives you some kind of trend or feedback as to what it is that is going on with your personal finances or your business. And some persons decide that they're going to move on from that shoebox system to something, say, like Excel, which in itself...
You know, a lot of people don't like Excel, though.
I don't know why. ICAB actually offers numerous Excel sessions throughout the year, and you're quite welcome. Even if you're not a member, you can pay the non-member fee so that you can get comfortable and familiar with it, because I know we do have an aversion to learning anything new. It makes you uncomfortable because you feel as though you're going to be left behind. But the more you embrace these things, you can realize how it helps to make your life so much easier in the long run, and it frees up your time to be able to do more.
Saves so much time. Saves so much time. Even in, like you said, in personal budgeting. I mean, I know sometimes many people, they wait till the end of the month maybe to total up their expenses. Whereas an app that I often use, you need a budget.
Yes.
I put in my expenses or whatever I bought, whatever I spent immediately into the right account, and that works. You know, those little apps, even on your phone, even from a personal standpoint, help. So what would you recommend for business?
There are a lot of different accounting systems that you can use, and what I recommend is to not just go with what you heard someone else uses, because that may be specific to their type of industry or the size of their company, and it may have been tailored to them. And you go ahead because you hear, oh, this really worked well for my company, you should use this, but you have to do your research. There's no one size fits all. So many persons like to go with something popular or what they hear very often, like QuickBooks, and then they wonder why it's not working for them. When there are so many things on the market, you have to look at what industry you're in. So what happens if you're in agriculture? Would you use the same system as some person who's in insurance? You have to be able to sit down and see what your industry's best practice is, and then look at the size of your company.
How do you find out what's right for you then?
How do you
What
get
shoe
those
fits?
The research is always there. You go on the internet, you talk to your peers, you look and see what else is happening, because there are many ways where you can look and see, okay, I know this particular company uses this particular system. I think I'm going to adopt this. And especially if you have a small business, you don't have to necessarily go and do a massive amount of talking around or looking around. You can go very comfortably on the internet. Most people, as I said, do use QuickBooks, but there are other systems that you can go and research and say, okay, I think this actually suits me because I'm a photographer, and this will work best for my system. or you can even go as simple as Excel, depending on the number of clients that you may have or the number of transactions you have. If it's not a high volume, those kind of simple systems may actually work for you.
Okay, so you got a number of options, and you have to do the research. The research is so important because at the end of the day, this is your business that you want to take from point A to point B to make sure that your profits are right, because you get into business to earn profits.
Correct.
And you said Excel, simple Excel.
Simple Excel.
As you call it, simple for you.
It
simple
is though,
Excel.
it is though.
Yeah, I've heard.
But time is money, and it saves time.
All right, so that's an option. So you would encourage anyone to go and get some training with Excel?
I would, because even if you don't use Excel as your main system, because when your business gets more complex, Excel can get a bit tricky and it gets difficult to track certain things because it doesn't have the built-in controls of an accounting system. But Excel is something that you should be using, period, throughout your business to help make sure that you are tracking things a lot more efficiently.
Are there any apps like Lisa mentioned?
Yeah.
What's that one called?
You Need a Budget is
You Need a
more
Budget.
personal,
Right.
but it's really, really great.
And
It's a different way of accounting. I suggest that. I used to use Excel, but I moved over to this. QuickBooks, there's a personal one too,
Yes.
but I didn't fancy that. Again, like you were saying,
yes.
find what suits you.
Correct.
so any advice for business owners, small business owners, of a few of them that they could choose, probably do some research on?
There are some persons who like Quicken. There's some persons who might like GIS and some other systems that I would say like AppPack and those kind of things. But as I said, these are things I've seen different companies that I've audited use, and each business was so different that to make a particular recommendation,
Right.
I know QuickBooks is one that a lot of persons with small entities
Always use.
that they use a lot.
So maybe we should suggest to small business owners to ask their accountant
Yeah.
what they suggest for their industry.
And the Small Business Association also offers great advice. ICAB offers great advice. The Institute of Internal Auditors offers great advice as to what system may best suit your particular organization, especially if you are now starting out and you're not sure what direction you'd want to go in as yet. They have the experience of seeing so many different industries and so many different businesses. They might be able to make the best suggestion for you as to what would work.
Okay, thank you so much, Crystal. Always a pleasure getting the information from you to help you at home manage that small business, that fish fry that you hold every weekend. You want to make that a medium-sized business. So there's small steps that you can take, and Crystal Howell will help you move in that direction.